Most young men today feel deeply alone, and no one's really talking about it. At least not with any urgency, and definitely not beyond surface level advice. I also remember a time you should be able to relate to. So I was on holiday about 7 or 8 years ago. We went camping, and my family was outside, I was in a tent, and I was having like a fucking mental breakdown. I was constantly going over in my head, if I were to suddenly pass away, who would care? And I was running these scenarios through my head. If I ended it right now, how many people would care? I'd literally tallied it in my head. Maybe they'd care a little bit. Oh, they definitely wouldn't. I literally tallied it in my own head. How many people I think would care? All the whilst I was doing this, I could hear my family outside laughing. And it's just like, that's a very humbling moment for me to remember. At that stage, my mental state was so bad that I was so lonely that I was considering. But it is safe to say that from that holiday, I have fixed my way of thinking and I don't feel that way anymore. But quickly, I do want to spend 15 seconds just rambling through my achievements, just so you can get a picture of who I am and how I can actually help you. So at one point I used to be fat, and now I'm in really good shape. Built muscle, done that. I used to have horrible mental health, depressed, as you can tell by my story, and now I don't. I fucking wake up loving life. It's hard to get into that good energy after I told that story, but anyway, my mental health is fucking good. I used to be extremely fucking shy. I lacked confidence around people, super anxious and super full of self-doubt. Removed all of them, and then relatively recently I got rid of that overwhelmingly, like that nagging feeling of loneliness. So that now being said, this is my perspective on why you feel lonely. When was the last time you had a deep heart-to-heart conversation with another human being, where you told them and opened up with your insecurities, your deepest fears, your dreams, and what you want out of life? Where you really understand each other on like a deeper human level. If the answer is 0, you've never done that before, I would urge you to start with that now, because I was like that too, about probably 2 years ago. I had never had one of those conversations before. Now I've had that conversation multiple times with my brother, mother, father, and 2 different friends. And having that conversation like gets rid of that nagging feeling of loneliness when you actually connect with someone on a deeper level. That's what I think a bit of that feeling of loneliness actually stems from. You haven't connected with anyone at a deeper level, and then as a result you'll look for it in other like forms. That's when things like addictions will form. So yeah, to do this you do actually have to open up to people. You have to open. This is a good life lesson in general. You have to open up first. You have to be the one to initiate. Be the initiator, not the passive receiver. Be the one that initiates the conversation. Open up to them, and you'll find it's not scary, and they will open up just the same. So next point. Now, be honest with me here. When's the last time, aside from school or work, that you actually left your room? Again, if the answer is, oh fuck, I can't remember, shit, then that's also likely where your next problem is. Again, I used to be chronically indoors as well. I would not leave my room. I would be watching anime, TV shows, and playing video games. If I was not doing those things, I was at either school or work. That was my life. And how can you get rid of that feeling of loneliness when you literally... I know it's kind of self-explanatory, but to not be lonely, the antithesis is like abundant, full of relationships and love. How are you going to get that? By staying in your room? Unfortunately, I could never get rid of that nagging feeling without leaving my room. So, fortunately, or unfortunately, you're going to have to leave your room and start doing other activities, join sport, actually start connecting with people. And also a thing with this, you're probably likely to be thinking that you've always been this way, that it's hard for me to actually leave my room. You're stuck in the familiar, and any new change is just inherently scary. But again, I've literally been where you are right now. I was chronically indoors, and yeah. So to explain this, I'm going to give you two analogies. Starting with progressive overload. Progressive overload is a gym term used to describe like the main progression, and that's just when you go to the gym, you wouldn't start benching 140 kilos. You'd start with the bar, and then slowly increment yourself up. You do like 22.5 the next session, maybe a few more reps the next session. Basically, it's just slowly adding more weight reps over time. So you don't just, your body's physically capable of doing 60 kilos and then you just slam on 140. No, you wouldn't do that. You give your body time to adapt. So now, how do you think we'd apply that to getting out of your comfort zone and starting to try new things? Likely, it's going to be doing the bare minimum to level up. Right now, you probably think, okay, joining a new sports club, too scary. I can't do that. Okay, what's the minimum thing that you can do that gets you outside of your house? Maybe go for a walk around your city. You don't have to talk to anyone. Just go for a walk. See that, okay, people. Oh my God, people. You're around people. You have a brain. I believe in you. Think of what is the lowest step that in your mind, when you think of doing, you're just like, okay, that's scary, but you know, I can do that. I can do that. You want to constantly be thinking like that. What's the next like reasonable thing I can do that's not too scary? Because if you work at that point where it's just too terrifying, it's like if you're approaching girls, you wouldn't, and you've never approached a girl before, and you don't even talk to normal strangers. You don't even know how to start a conversation with a guy. You're not going to start with approaching hot girls, are you? No. You're going to start with talking and making friends with guys. It's just how that works. There's a progression to these things. Now I want to give you the analogy of the frog. So we have two frogs in two situations. One time we chuck a frog in boiling water. What happens? He immediately jumps out. Just like, fuck, I'm boiling, I'm getting out. It's immediate. And then this time, on this other side, we have him starting in warm water, and we slowly warm the water up to the point where it's boiling. But we do that over a long period of time. And you'll find what happens next is very interesting. Now that he's slowly adapted, acclimated to the temperature increases, he boils himself. Yeah. He literally boils alive because he doesn't detect the change, while over here, he jumps out instantly. So obviously, we're not going to boil you alive, but you get the principle. You won't be jumping out of the water instantly because you're going to slowly acclimate yourself to what you need to be doing. That's like the same point with progressive overload. Basically all this to say, start slowly and that there's a progression to these things, and otherwise it's going to be too hard for you. And now for the last point. You've likely heard the complaints before. Oh, it's that blasted phone. Get off your phone, you're always on your phone. You've likely heard that from parents, family, fucking teachers. You've likely heard that before. And it's a very good point, because honestly, screen time, it completely fucks your brain. Now, I want you to imagine caveman version of you. Thousands of years ago, what are we doing as humans? We are hunter-gatherers. We live in little tribes where we go forage food, we go hunt animals, and then we come back and we vibe around a fire. We have lived like that for 99.4% of our existence. It's only the last 1,000 or 2 years that we've been in actual cities, in settlements. And it's literally been in the last 50 years where we've been introduced to this technology. You think our brains have evolved to consume technology 10 hours a day, to be staring at a screen being stimulated over and over again? No. No, we're not fucking evolved to do that. We are biologically still caveman. Our brains have evolved for that, not to stare at a screen all day. And this has really bad repercussions. Staring at a screen all day, what it does, it makes you super fucking emotional. It doesn't allow you time to process your thoughts. I know, when I was constantly addicted to screens, I hated life. Why? Because I couldn't think. My emotional control, anything happened and I'd just be fucking volatile as hell. It's just like, I don't want to live like that. I want control over my thoughts, my emotions, and especially those feelings of like loneliness. You're going to get that way less. Because as soon as you're done addicting yourself, you're going to come back to reality. All of those emotions are just going to fucking slam you on the head all at once. And it's not going to be a pleasant feeling. And that loneliness feeling is going to be exacerbated by all of this technology consumption. And then as a result, likely you're not going to sleep. Likely you probably have trouble sleeping. And if you do, this may be the problem. And if you're an overthinker, you think, oh, I don't sleep because I'm constantly in my own head. Well, when you're in your own head, when you're like barely ever in your own head, 10 hours a day on screens, and then you try to sleep where there's no stimulation, your brain's gonna want to fucking process and think and just exist. It's not gonna be wanting to sleep, it's just been stimulated too much. It's why it takes too long to fall asleep. TLDR, too much screen time fucks your life and will exacerbate those feelings of loneliness. So slowly work to cut down on screen time and you'll thank me later for it. And a little bonus thing that I come to realize after I made the script, the information we input into our minds. So, you know those, I used to consume those really sad reels where like life is just like miserable, where there are thousands of people liking, commenting, real. And it's just like, if you consume information like that all day, what do you think your brain's gonna do? It's going to be wired in like this new default state where you're just lonely, where everyone else is feeling like this. You see thousands and thousands of people liking it, and now your caveman brain is just like, everyone else is doing it, I'm going to feel like that now too. And it's going to give you permission to feel like that. Because again, social creatures, it's what we are. It's what we've evolved to be like. And yeah, not good. Not good at all. So try to reduce the amount of like sad content you watch. People that are miserable, stay away from them. If it's family, obviously try to help them, but try to cut out negative people out of your life. Try to stop watching negative content. Protect your peace of mind. And just, I know, general advice, be more positive. Consume positive, uplifting shit. Consume stuff that makes you more productive, a better human. General self-improvement advice, but it works. So, yeah, stop consuming negative shit. Because that, again, is going to make those negative, lonely feelings even worse. Now, to leave the video on a better note, what is one thing you're currently grateful for? Gratitude is a cornerstone habit in my life, and just on what I was saying before, positivity, I make sure to get in some gratitude journaling, or just gratitude saying every day something. You wanna know what I'm grateful for? Just something simple. My mother is cooking me dinner right now, and I'm going to be eating that in an hour. I'm thankful for that. Not all people have mothers that cook for them. I'm blessed. It can be just being thankful for the smaller stuff as well. It doesn't even have to be insane. Just small levels of gratitude every day goes a long way. This will also get rid of those lonely feelings as well. When you're more thankful, negative emotions tend to rise up a lot less. So yeah, that is the video. Like, sub does help me out. And yeah, take care. Bye-bye.